right, today we're going to make a photo montage, which is a type of collage where we're combining photographs together from magazines. So you'll need magazines, scissors, and glue sticks from the Collage Center. Once you get your piece of paper, we will always start by putting your name and class on the back. And then the first thing we're going to do is cover our piece of paper with background. So maybe you find something from nature that you like. Maybe you find, a bunch of different blues and you're doing sky and ocean. So this is covering my whole piece of paper, and then we're going to start adding details. Maybe you find an advertisement that shows the inside of a room and you like that idea. So again, the first thing we're going to do is make our background layer. And if it doesn't totally fill your paper, that's okay. You can either cut the edge of the paper off or you can add something else at the bottom. So what you'll do is open up your glue stick, twist it up just a little bit. Once you've found that background for your magazine page, add some glue stick onto your paper. And mine's gonna go off the page a little bit. So I think what I'm gonna do is line up this one with the edge, smooth that out, and then just have part of this one. I'm gonna smooth that on, and I'm okay with this rough edge. You could cut that with your scissors if you don't like the way that looks. If your paper's not sticking down all the way, add some more glue, press that in place. Anytime we're not using glue sticks, you can twist it back down, put the lid on, especially when you're done using your glue stick, so it's ready for the next person. And then I've got all that extra, so I'm gonna flip this over and I'm gonna trim right along the edge of my paper. And that will give me some paper that I can use. Maybe I want to fill in the bottom down here with this extra sand area. And I could cover up the words or I could leave them. All right, now that I have my entire background ready to go, I'm going to start looking for objects that I'm going to add. So you could look for things that maybe go with the subject matter. And since this one's about trash and litter, I could look for more trash to add. Or I could add things that are completely unrelated. So meaning like maybe I find some things that are like ocean animals and I put them swimming through the background. The cool thing about photo montage is once it's put together, it does look kind of surreal, not realistic, and oftentimes they're very humorous. So now I'm gonna start looking through my magazines, and as I find things I like, I'm just gonna tear them out and set them aside. This is something at your table you could say like, hey, I'm looking for food, and if you find something with food, grab it for me. Or I'm looking for a fire or a sun, grab it for me. I'm looking for water. And you'll just start making your pile of things that you might like to use. Once you find some objects that you like, we can do a bubble cut around them. And a bubble cut just means you're cutting out but not carefully. Then you're gonna slow down and start cutting around your object. We want our photo montage to look like a bunch of objects that go together. Because of the way we've carefully cut them out, it looks like the images were meant to go together. It doesn't look like there's just this floating thing in white paper. So I'm going to carefully start cutting around some of my objects and then start arranging them on here. That means just placing them where I think they should go before I glue anything down. So probably gluing your object should be one of the last things you do right before you're done, right before you put it in the drying rack. That way you can still make changes. Okay, once I have some objects that I like, I'm going to start arranging them, putting them where I think they should go. And then if you've got little details like this, sometimes just cutting it off works best, sometimes leaving the background. If you wanted to cut out the middle of it, you can carefully curl your paper, make a little snip, and then slip your scissor blades inside there and cut that space out. This can be kind of tricky, so my suggestion to you, if it's a really small space, is just to leave it. But sometimes cutting that out will make it work better with your background. Because this color is so close to the gray, I'm going to choose just to leave it. And then once I've got objects where I want them, I'm going to add glue. You might have to use a little more glue stick than you think. And since this has a flat edge here, I'm going to line that up with the edge of my paper, press that flat. So I'm going to continue gluing all these items down so I do not lose them. Once you've got them glued, you might do a quick turn of the paper to make sure nothing falls off. And I've got a photo montage. So now I've got these objects that really kind of look like they go together because I cut them out carefully. Sometimes it doesn't quite make sense. Sometimes it's humorous. Sometimes it might be kind of weird and ominous, and that's okay too. I've got this indoor scene that I started working on, and for this one, I liked the lamps, so I started looking through magazines for things that could be hanging down from the top, and so I did find a few things. So again, I'm going to arrange these things where I want them to go. I thought maybe adding a toaster here would be odd. I found this walrus. I might slip that in there somewhere just because it looks kind of weird. And so I would keep looking for things that I think would add on to this and maybe make it look kind of surreal and funny. I'm probably going to put something here because I don't really want that QR code. So that is something I will keep looking for. So just make sure name and class is on the back. Make sure we're cutting things out carefully. Have some fun with this. Try to make things look odd, funny, weird, believable. That's your choice. When it's time to clean up, we're going to make sure we put glue stick caps on correctly. All these little scrap things that you don't need are going to go in the garbage. Magazines will go back in the collage center. Pages like this can go in the trash. Otherwise, stack up your magazines, and we will take these over to the collage center and put this stuff away. So magazines go down here in the collage center, and scissors, if you used any hole punches or silly scissors, if you use the big handled scissors, those go here. Glue sticks, and then if you lost your glue stick cap, I do keep extras in the collage center. Please take care of the space. Make sure we pick up any garbage off the floor. Make sure we're cleaning up our table area, cleaning up trash off the floor. If we got glue on the table, we're wiping the tables off.